scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
On first down, it's Purdy. Hauled in left side here by Jennings. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A gain of 10 and a 49er first down. They'll let the QB keep it here off the option. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. 6 yards there on the keeper. It's second down.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it, and while he didn't get a first down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
Purdy's throw taken in by Samuel. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it, and it's second down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a third and about 4. Back to throw, Purdy. Fighting to stay, but now he's swallowed up and taken down. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders. So this defense, they gave up some yards on this drive, but bottom line, they came up with a sack when it mattered.
And we know that every down counts, but let's be honest about it. People focus on third down as a real key down in any drive, any situation, and they took full advantage of third down there and made a play.
Under pressure, and they got to him again. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Boy, a call like this, certainly tougher to make in a Super Bowl, but they'll go for it on fourth down. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Joejuan Williams. And the Vikings are going to get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on fourth down. I appreciate the aggressiveness trying to go for it there on fourth down, but you're in the red zone, had 3 points in your back pocket. Instead, Charles, they throw it away.
Certainly a big call to go for it on fourth down. As you said, in the red zone, definitely going to cost them 3 points, and we'll see how that affects the game as time goes on.
A good pickup there, 26 yards. 2 minutes on the clock in the second quarter of this Super Bowl. On first and 10, Cousins. And he will make the catch. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Another big gainer, 2 in succession as this one goes for 32. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, first and 10. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. Picked off by Fred Warner. And the 49ers are going to take possession here at their own 33. So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching a bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them break away and take control of this game?
A good start to the drive here as that's caught out on the left side. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 25 yards that time. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Throwing on 2nd down, it's Purdy. Oh, what a catch here by Kittle. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 16. That one goes for 24 yards. Well, there wasn't much of a window there, Charles. Had to deal with a couple of defenders, but able to find his big tight end.
And, partner, we know double coverage is a challenge for any player to try to defeat. But maybe it's a little easier if you're one of those big tight ends because you have a size advantage on just about anyone trying to cover you, and you use your body to create some space.
Here's 2nd and 10. Now, here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. And here is a leaping catch. He pulled it in. And he'll be touched out here, but not before he does pick up the first. So offside's the call, and they understandably decline it.
And this is why we're seeing more and more teams hiring that one coach to the staff that's in charge of all of these things. This one's minor. It's pretty easy to figure out. But all the game management stuff, trying to help out the head coach in his decision-making process.
And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter. Final play of the half, Purdy. That's caught by Deebo Samuel. Touchdown, San Francisco. A great effort there as time expires in the first half. And the 49ers will extend their lead here just before halftime. So they say no to the field goal try late in the half, and it winds up really paying off as they score on the final play.
Yeah, a little bit of a gamble, but they had some foresight as well because they knew they were going to get the ball to start the third quarter. So they thought to themselves, if we score here, we can double up on back-to-back drives when we start the second half.
The final shot before break. Purdy, and this one incomplete. So they went for the 2, they don't get it. So we've reached halftime here in the Super Bowl. One of the greatest performances of the year usually, but not here. Halftime of the Super Bowl is skipped, and we are on to the second half. These two teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in this Super Bowl. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. And I think you'd have to say their coaching staff, all things considered, had to be pleased with their performance in the first half of this Super Bowl.
Definitely pleased, doing their best not to show it to their team, of course, because as you and I both know, their mantra all season long has been finish. Get the job done. They know how close they are to lifting that trophy. One more solid half of football, and they can do exactly that.
They'll send a receiver here in motion right. He'll get an opportunity with it on the touch pass. And
a lot of times these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, They got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
Purdy now to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Niners first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable third down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the first down.
Play action, and now here's Purdy to throw it. That's complete. It's Brandon Ayuk. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. And not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you've got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem. That doesn't work too well.
That's over the middle and caught by Ayuk. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15. 70 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Back to the ground on first, it's McCaffrey. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. Purdy. And, oh, he's unable to hold on to that defensively. A potential game changer, but it falls incomplete. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Out of the gun, Purdy. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
The Niners go for it, but it doesn't work out. And this 11-play drive is going to lead to nothing on the scoreboard. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. It got his man complete. A big play there for Minnesota. 55 yards.
That's the kind of play this offense desperately needed. They've got to be saying, our defense has kept us in the ball game. We're down, but we're certainly not out. And maybe that was the spark that they've been searching for.
That would almost intercepted, but it's incomplete. Not a good throw there, and it'll be 2nd down. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range. That play call wasn't there for them against that coverage. So they're going to spin the dial now in their playbook and come up with one more shot at the marker to try and keep this series going.
And that is incomplete.
I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. 4th down now, but he was fortunate on that one not to have another turnover on his ledger.
Now Cousins on 4th down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Vikings unable